Captain Starlog, supplemental. It's been a long time. Ever since I arrived in the year 2017. I don't know where to start. What you see before you here is where I wound up. Trying to stay out of history's way. I was trying to help my friend, Admiral Jonathan Archer. We were on board the Enterprise. I took command at that time. He gave me command of the Enterprise because of a favor that he owed me. I was promoted to captain one day. He gave me the Enterprise. I took it just almost like any first captain would, regular job. I had sat down with Jonathan Archer several times, him telling me all kinds of stories about his early journeys on the Enterprise. He was the first captain. I remember the very first day I arrived on the Enterprise. Oh, that was when I met Captain T'Pol, a Vulcan. She was originally Admiral Jonathan Archer's first officer when he was captain of the Enterprise. I didn't think much of it at the time. Weird part was she selected me out of every officer amongst Starfleet. She selected me as her first officer. I didn't know why. I even asked her. She said that I looked promising. Followed her orders, best to my abilities. Took command of the Enterprise a couple of times. Then one day, she decided to retire. Step out of Starfleet, return to Vulcan. Then Admiral Archer tried to retire the Enterprise. He retired at the time. And then peace talks were beginning on Kronos with the Klingons. Well, Captain Archer got in a shuttle, was leaving to go to do peace talks. I was along for the ride. I, at the time, was still a commander. I hadn't been a first officer for a very long time. But why Captain Archer chose me, I still have no idea. It was the same words, just like Captain T'Pol told me. I looked promising. Well, there I was with Admiral Jonathan Archer. We were flying in the shuttlecraft all the way to Kronos when the crash landed. We got out of the shuttle pod and started heading straight for the council chambers. Luckily, nobody was hurt. The rescue party had gotten us out of the wreckage, but Captain Archer still wanted to proceed with his job. Luckily, it was a soft landing, or a soft crash. We'd survived. I have no idea how, but apparently something was supposed to happen there. Admiral Jonathan Archer walked into the council chamber, but out of nowhere, a former acquaintance of Admiral Archer came and tried to attack him. I had never seen him before. I'd been on Kronos several times, though, but apparently he was a member of the Duras family. I had a few friends on Kronos at the time, and they had taught me all kinds of Klingon moves. I stopped Duras from trying to kill the Admiral. I knocked him to the side and we were able to escape. Apparently, from what I found out, the whole thing was a trap to try to capture Jonathan Archer and take his head. We stayed in hiding for a long time until a rescue party was able to find us. Some of my friends on Kronos at that time were able to conceal us and keeping us from the Duras family. We continued on. We were able to get rescued eventually. And then Admiral Archer told me that he'd owe me that if I wanted anything, he'd give it to me as a favor. I asked him if he could give me command of the Enterprise, and he said that was a reasonable request. He took it out of retirement and gave it to me. I was the third captain of the Enterprise. But years later, as I was still commanding the Enterprise, as I said earlier, we had received a distress call from a freighter out there. Admiral Archer was with me at the time. I don't know where that distress call came from. We went all the way to the coordinates that we detected it from. There was no freighter there. Then out of nowhere, a wormhole opened. It sucked the ship right into it. We were trying to reverse course. We didn't have time to get out. Everybody abandoned ship, except for me and Admiral Archer. He told me to leave and stay on board, as he stayed on board the Enterprise. I didn't listen to him. I disobeyed a direct order from the Admiral. I didn't want to leave him behind. I looked up to him a lot. I stopped right there and stood by Admiral Archer to keep the ship from trying to go into the wormhole. Something happened and I blacked out. I don't know what happened. And when I woke up, apparently I was on Earth. How I got here, I don't know. But from what I know, it wasn't the Earth I remembered. I landed, well, I woke up in the middle of the woods in a small town. I looked around, found a newspaper. It said the year 2017. I couldn't believe it. How I wonder, I do always wonder how I really got here, and what happened to the Enterprise after that, and what happened to Jonathan Archer. I have no idea. As far as I know, the ship disappeared alongside him. It's going to be a long journey. I got too many years ahead of me. A lot of people are probably wondering why I'm leaving this. These are the Captain's Star Logs of Captain Dillmore, the last captain of the USS Enterprise in X-1. In transmission.